Yeah, if you were gonna name this enemy, what would you name him?
Philip.
Philip. All right, yeah.
I actually thought
If,
Felipe first, but I was translating.
ooh, I
That's
like Felipe. I
yes. Or
think
Philippe, if
that's
you're feeling more francophile.
yeah. Philippe is here to say you
Okay,
should have
yes, it's
rendered some more
Philippe.
polygons on
It's
me.
Philippe.
Yeah, yeah.
He has he has a penchant for escargot and steak frite.
And this American tourist coming into his land, he's just not happy with.
Yeah. They're not fighting. He's just getting in his face, right? He's just getting in your face a little bit. He's like, "Hey, I'm confronting you. I'm accosting you."
Exactly. It's a
J'accuse. I
Jacques.
when we're done with our like tentpole technical features, multiplayer, good god, 3D, holy shit. This is the kind of world building you can expect from the pair of us, right? Like we're gonna have like French orcs with massive geometric chateaus, and set in a kind of bizarre alpine wasteland.
That that would be a better game than Halo.
And then you
Someone should
punching
make
them in the
that.
face with your rifle.
Do not disturb.
I used to be able to see the chat from OBS, but for some reason it is just like gone now. Um, and I don't know what changed.
That's weird and annoying.
Did I update OBS and it just disappeared? I don't know.
Hmm.
At any rate, I brought my tablet.
Great. Yeah, you've got a window into chat at least.
Yeah, I've got a window into a separate world. Boy, I'm feeling the weight of the year this week, this month, but today in particular.
Was there something particularly dark today, or is it just the accumulated darkness of fucking 9 months of this?
No, I think I'm just annoyed
Mhm.
at everything. With
Yeah,
I don't necessarily have a right to be, but that's how I feel.
I think I think we definitely have a right to be annoyed about just about everything this year. I'm with you. I don't know. I I think it's made worse. Like I'd like to see my family. I'm having like friends who are going like slightly more bonkers in isolation on the East Coast because like they can't even do the safe outside things anymore.
Yeah.
Like everything's just kind of spinning up, and it's like gonna get like much weirder before it gets better in like March. And
Yeah,
it's not far away, but also it feels infinitely far away.
yeah. I mean, not only um, not only did bad things happen, I felt like I was made aware of how many idiots we're surrounded by, and the degree and the depth of their idiocy. I think that's
And like
basically it.
I really like yeah, my bubble before I lived in like a happy bubble not knowing how terrible everything and everyone was.
Yeah.
And like I kind of knew, but also I didn't like have to didn't have to know. But it's dark.
Yeah,
Yeah.
our countrymen are malevolent forces
At least like
who
45% of them, yeah.
I the lowercase d Democrat in me wants to have empathy for, and but at the same time, I don't know.
What's the
The
what's the
American
solution?
experiment, it's difficult. I don't know.
Like you can't like give out voting rights to people who pass a test. Like you can't disenfranchise folks.
No.
We're like experiencing the true consequence of like everyone getting a say, no matter how bad their say is. It's really weird.
Um. Why am I complaining about this now?
Hey
This is like
man,
old shit. There's nothing original being said.
it's sometimes you just got to go back to the golden oldies.
Yeah, you might be right.
Huh?
How's your salad? Tell me about your
My,
salad. I want to hear more about your salad.
my salad, I'm just like I'm trying to eat more raw vegetables,
Oh,
and it's probably better than like frozen pizza. I'm trying to like health up this pandemic now that it's I can see the other side of it. So I've got a mixed lettuce from just a box, like a grocery store box, and then some fresh bell peppers, some shredded carrots, a little feta, and some pepitas for crunch. It's a pretty good salad.
yeah, nice.
Maybe like I think the carrots are a little incongruous in here, but also I just wanted to eat some carrots.
Uh, where do you get your produce?
Berkeley Bowl.
Nice.
It's all Berkeley Bowl. Yeah, and actually they had the bell pepper is like a multicolored bell pepper, which I've never seen before. It's like red and yellow stripes. So I feel like I'm having a real fancy pepper over here too.
That is fancy.
Yeah. Only the best at Berkeley Bowl. But also, yeah, I'm not going to the grocery store for the next month, so we'll see what Instacart brings me.
So what do we want to do today?
Well, I mean, we got this 3D engine.
We do.
Yeah.
I actually was able to keep it in the branch, so it's still a 3D branch.
Yep, we're on it. I mean, I feel like we should maybe get the rest of our entities rendering in here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's pretty cool that the game continues to play and like our camera translation actually is working just fine.
Yeah, it's great. Clamping works and everything. I'm sure the level editor is totally hosed right now.
Oh yeah, let's not talk about that
Yeah,
one. That's
I don't. What level editor?
yeah, no such thing.
Yeah, we just yeah.
So I think let's get the rest of our entities. I also would be super interested in like
fixing the colors.
Well, that too. But what in your estimation would it take to like actually turn our plane a little bit or turn our camera a little bit? Like our motion will be wrong. The perspective might be weird. But I'd love to start seeing this in like sort of a different vantage.
Yeah. Okay.
Mostly so I like can look at it and be like, we did a 3D.
Yeah. Definitely. Well, I was actually thinking about this. We don't have anything that has any height to it, right?
Right.
So it would just be the effect of floating above the ground, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the idea is as you move around, what you're really doing is moving the camera on a plane that is above the ground, and
that's what I was thinking. Yeah.
We are pointed at some interesting angle. That's actually a fun exercise.
Yeah, and the we'll have to change our background to like maybe actually black to stop looking at magenta all the time.
Yes.
And yeah, I was thinking like clamping would actually we basically just like move the offset around, like just offset ourselves back and like do some translation on the camera to make that look good. So
maybe we can do this all inside the renderer at first, but I think I've been thinking about this a little bit. I think eventually, well, we should just rip out the 2D renderer entirely. Just chuck it.
Oh yeah.
And then B, I think we need to change everything that's a y-axis to a z-axis.
Interesting.
But I do wonder, does this matter? Could we treat z as the height off the ground? I mean,
it shouldn't. It probably doesn't care, right?
It doesn't really care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just sort of modeled it sideways.
Yes, exactly. Okay. So if that's the case, what would it take? Well, why don't we come up with some proposal on what the angle we are using to look down at the ground? We've got the ground, we've got the plane of the camera. Gosh, this background is
it's hard, yeah.
And then the camera is going to be tilted down a little bit, right?
Well, and actually, like I'm thinking right now we're tilted straight down, so we want to tilt up.
Yes, yeah. So we want to tilt up a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are we doing right here? We basically want to have a perspective, a perspective transform, and then we want to move everything so that our sort of world to view transform has to take into account that the camera is looking down the y-axis rather than down.
Right. Yeah. Our transform
looking down the negative y-axis, basically.
That's right.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say we had that transform that we used in this example. This one. Wait, did we actually have a perspective? Oh, great. It's actually a metaphor. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Right. So does this? We need to take this, and do we need to swap y and z with the multiplication?
We can keep the same. What we can keep a similar projection matrix. I don't know what the parameters are going to be exactly. We'll have to mess with that a bit.
Okay.
But I actually think those parameters seem fine right now. Like
Yeah, I
we
was
could
gonna say
just,
these.
yeah,
They actually seem pretty okay.
yeah.
Now, do we need to set? Let's see. We do set the uniform whenever we set the camera, but the projection is actually.
You can set it in the constructor. It's pretty much constant.
Yeah. Yeah,
As soon as the shader is ready, you can set, or rather, as soon as we call use program, we can set the projection. Yep.
All right. So, and then where do we call use? Right there. Excellent. This is going to be set projection matrix. Oh gosh. Well, yeah, it's unhappy that there is no projection uniform set. I totally feel you right now, WebGL. But don't worry. Great. So yeah, if we do this and then we need to get and set the uniform position. Yeah. Oh. Just do that at the same time. And this is probably a 4VF, and this is probably a projection. And we're setting projection again. Is that it, or does this have another parameter? An argument for data was not provided. Oh, interesting. Transpose. Transpose false. Okay.
So I'd expect this to just be magenta.
And I think that is what we're looking at.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that, and let's see, we've multiplied it through here. Is it just magenta because our plane is clipped out on the Z?
Yeah, well, there's a number of things going on right now. So in the set camera roll position, the normalized by the side of that number 3, we just get rid of that. We don't need that anymore because the projection matrix is already doing it. That is
delightful,
line
right?
81.
Aspect ratio is in there.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, cool.
That's
great.
So that's not the only thing that we're gonna have to change. There's a lot of things that need to change.
I believe it.
So the camera roll position is being given to us as an X and Y coordinate. What we need to do is we need to rotate everything. We need to pick a vector that basically reflects the orientation of the camera. And the position of the camera in not just 2 space, but 3 space, right? Which we kind of did on ones 105 to 108 when we were looking directly down at everything. But what we need to do is we basically need to take that vec2 P and put it into 3 space, including the height of the camera above the ground.
Gotcha. Oh, right, because our Z is just 0 here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And wait, how was this showing up at all before? We had no perspective, so it wasn't clipping?
Well, we were setting a distance from the camera in the shader. So if you go to the vertex shader, the distance from the camera is 1. That's line 31. It's
1. Okay, great. So it's just always in clip. That's right.
Yeah, and had we set it to anything higher than 1, it would have clipped. Because remember, like, the normalized device coordinate volume is -1 to 1 on every axis. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. Okay. Okay, great. All right, so...
And what the perspective transform is doing is the exact same thing, but instead it's taking whatever was in the view frustum, which expands as you go away from the projection plane, and basically kind of like shifts everything, so it's now in this the prismatic rectangular prism space of the normalized device coordinates.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Would this be? Should we just start with like? Should we do a vec3 from values here?
Yeah,
Do
that's great.
P0, P1, and then we're saying that our Z is going to be. Is this also in the -1 to 1 space? No, because this is actually our clipping. So.
Well, the Z, we need to make sure that we're clear on what the Z means here versus the Z in the shader. The Z here should be the world Z, and so
Okay,
I
right.
think it's just like we can pick some distance above the ground. Let's just do like 5 and see what
Okay.
happens there. And that's how far off the ground we are because we're using Z as elevation rather than Y, right?
Gotcha. Okay, great. Great. Yeah.
And
Let's see. This is going to be.
yeah, and then the it's actually going to be
Uh,
mat 4 from translation. Let's see let's see if that's available. Not 4D. I think it's just mat 4.
4.
Does that exist?
Let's see. Mat 4 does.
Okay.
Mat 4 dot create. Yeah, there we go. Yep. Cool. Okay.
And then is this line 108 take a 3 matrix? It's not complaining about the type, so it must. Sorry, a 3 vector. Line 108.
It does take a
does.
3
Okay.
vector. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Hmm?
So we need to actually create a matrix that is the world to view matrix, right?
World to view matrix.
Yeah. So or let's do a view to world matrix first, and then we can do the inverse of the world to view. I think it's easier to think of view to world. So all we're going to do is we're going to create a matrix that essentially describes the position and orientation of the camera. So we're halfway there. The code from line 106 to 108 is almost there. We just need to get rid of the vec3 negate. Does that make sense?
Okay. I don't recall why we negated it in the first place, though.
We negated it because that's what you want to do to other points to put them in the space of the camera. Like you want to treat the camera as the origin. But view to world means imagine that the camera is at the world origin, but we want to move it into its world space position where it actually is. So it'd be the reverse of that.
Yep. Okay, cool.
And then it's actually a composite of 2 different transformations. A translation, which you have there, and a rotation, which is basically its orientation.
Yep.
So let me ask you, which of those do you think we should be applying first?
Ooh, you rotate before you translate,
exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So we need to create a mat 4 from rotation as well.
Does from rotation translation do things in the correct order?
Yeah, I think it does. It does.
Yeah.
Because you rarely ever want to translate and then rotate. That's like a little funky.
Cool.
So what does this do here? Oh, it uses quaternions. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
So we're almost there. We just need to add one more intermediate variable, which is the quaternion, and you'll get quat from GL matrix. So if you can, if you type quat and then import it, it'll come in. Oh, it's there. Is there a from Euler? Yeah, great. And then do quat.create. Yeah. So a quaternion is just a 4 vector, right?
Oh.
It's a 4 vector that encapsulates more or less a axis angle representation of orientation. Axis angle means that you think of it as it being a vector in 3 space. So it's pointing some direction in 3 space. It could be directly along the axis or diagonal or whatever. And then a particular right-hand rule rotation around that. So like you're just like, imagine that you're the Starship Enterprise and you're facing some direction and then you like do like a barrel roll around that axis. That's axis angle.
Gotcha. Okay.
Um, that's what a quaternion is, and you can describe that whole thing. It turns out in just 4 variables. It almost makes some intuitive sense because it's like you can imagine even axis angle is 4 variables, right? It's like just like the x, y, and z components of a vector plus the number of radians you've rotated around that.
hmm
Quaternions,
which is basically how this is structured, right?
a
That's
little
what.
bit,
Yeah.
yeah. Now, quaternion, the actual literal representation of quaternion is actually much more complicated. Um, uh, the you know complex numbers like where you have I.
Yes.
Um, Quaternions are essentially, and oftentimes complex numbers are basically represented as 2 vectors, right? You have
Mhm.
like the x-axis is the real plane, and the y-axis is the complex axis, and then
Interesting.
uh, anytime you plot like a fractal, right? They always use complex math to do fractals. That's always like using the complex plane as the representation of that, and then they just like plop that onto like a regular 2D Cartesian plane.
Cool.
So a quaternion is like a complex number, except it actually has 3 different complex variables in it. It doesn't just have I; it has j and it has k. And there's all kinds of algebraic rules in quaternion math. For complex numbers, there's really only one algebraic rule you need to worry about, which is I times I equals -1, right? That's like the only one you need to worry about. With quaternions, because you have j and k mixed in there, there's all these rules about like if I times j equals -k and like all these like weird encodings. Um, I don't really have a great intuitive understanding of what a quaternion is. Um, Suffice it to say that complex numbers in general are really ways of like mathematicians figuring out very clever ways of basically encoding algorithmic logic uh, into formula.
Mhm.
All I really is like a way of saying I actually when I do like an infinite expansion of something, I actually want to alternate pluses and minuses, and I need some kind of variable that encodes that uh, sense. It's not like I is a natural quantity in any intuitive sense, right? It's really just a algebraic tool so that you can get alternating signs in in all kinds of different situations, right? Um, so you see that quaternion multiplication chart there? It's that table. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Holy
pretty
shit.
heinous. Yeah. Um, so if you think,
Also, this
yeah,
SVG is fucking wild.
that is intense.
What the fuck, man? All
Yeah.
right.
Um. So it's maybe not to go into too much, but like the other way that you can represent an orientation is through the application of rotations around the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis,
Mhm.
right? So basically, I can start with, let's say, something pointing down the z-axis. I can rotate it around the z-axis. Then I can take that position and rotate it around the y-axis, and then I can take that position and rotate it around the x-axis, right?
Mhm.
So you can actually model rotations as a rotation around uh, each of the three axes in order. But it turns out that that representation has a lot of flaws.
Hmm.
Like depending on like how much you rotate around the y-axis, you may no longer be able to represent other rotations once you've gotten to that point. Um, However,
Weird.
quaternions don't suffer from that problem. So if you transform a quaternion with another quaternion, because
Mhm.
quaternions essentially represent rotations, so you can rotations or orientations, right? It's either the same way that vectors are either positions or translations, right? Quaternions are also positions, orientations, or rotations. You can stack as many quaternion like rotations on top of an original quaternion, and you're not going to run into like the mathematical problems that you run into if you just like say like, okay, I want to rotate around the x-axis, then I want to rotate around the y-axis, then I want to rotate around the z-axis. So that's why people use quaternions. The downside is that they're impossible to understand.
So weird. Okay, yeah. Huh.
So
All right.
the way that we create a quaternion, though, it's actually pretty intuitive. We can just actually treat it as if it is a rotation on the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis.
Yep. I love that.
Yeah.
In
And
degrees. Okay.
so I think for starters, we probably want a quaternion that represents us looking down. I think it's just, I don't know what a zero quaternion is. I'm not actually sure. Is that, I think that might just be looking down the negative z axis, but I'm not actually sure what that means. Uh, if you, you know what it is? It's whatever the OpenGL default is, and the default orientation in OpenGL is looking straight down the negative z axis.
Okay. So that's where we are then.
So that's where we are. Okay, so that's our world to view, which is great.
Mhm.
So then we still might need to flip the y-axis, I think.
Okay. Wait, wait, I need to pick a rotation now. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So let's see.
So I think we need to flip the y-axis first. That might actually be the very first
Flip it here. Yeah.
mat 4, yeah.
Hmm.
And so the mat 4
and then
is
actually, yeah.
going to be heinous, but
Right, it got a little longer. Why was the mat? Oh, mat 2D. Why did this have 6 values? Oh, it had the weird TX stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
And this
you may want to do a
is-
prettier ignore on this so we can create the four matrix.
Yeah, good. Just that.
Yeah. So I think we can actually start with an identity matrix, which is 1 0 0 0 for the first row, 0 1 0 0 for the second row, and so on and so forth. You just basically have ones going down the diagonal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then I think on the second row, for that 1 there, you make a negative. Yeah.
That looks good to me.
And the reason why we're doing this is that the way that all of our like world positions were represented is upside down, right? That actually might be something we want to fix eventually in our data representation. But right now, like the further up you are, the lower your y value is, and the further down you are, the higher the value your y value is, and that is backwards from what we want, I believe.
Gotcha. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And this was working for us before, so
Yes.
yeah. You were saying do this before, but actually we're already rotating and translating here. Do we need to? Should we modify camera world pause before we drop it into this?
That is a great point. Yeah, so we should probably do in line 104.
Okay.
We can do negative p1 maybe.
Oh, I see. And then when we apply it down here, we will have renegated it. Or do we just not need to do this?
So we're actually flipping two different coordinates here. The line 107 is going to be, we're going to apply that to geometry, like our terrain tiles, right?
Ah, I see.
And then line 104, we're applying it to the camera position because the camera position is also flipped.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the actual thing that we're going to set as our uniform value is a little bit tricky. Mm-hmm. What I think it actually is the multiplication of
yeah.
And I think you can do a mat4.create here. The mat4.inverse invert of the mat4.create. We can clean all this stuff up later.
Totally.
Of v to w.
Okay.
And you notice that whole thing, that mat4.invert, that is basically w to v. Does that make sense?
It does.
Yeah.
That's clever.
Yeah. So essentially what that's going to do is like it's going to take our camera position, it's going to like do our like whatever the rotation is in our translation and then do the reverse of that, which is to like translate it the opposite direction and rotate it the other direction. And
Nice.
that's
Yeah.
because what we're trying to do is we're trying to move everything in the world and treat the camera as the origin, right? And
Mhm.
the second thing is your flip Y.
Yep.
And the
Cool.
flip Y is not party to the invert because the flip Y is again, this is all being applied. This uniform, this matrix here is being applied to the terrain tiles, and so we want to first flip the Y-axis on the terrain tiles and then apply this world to view matrix, like basically treat rotating them and moving them around the camera so that as if the camera is the center of the universe, right?
Nice.
Does that roughly make sense?
Yeah, and I'm hoping that as stuff gets on the screen too, I'll be able to maybe sort of see
Yeah.
just see where things are happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so actually, does this become this now? Um, is that so?
Yeah,
Got our
that should be
projection matrix transform
fine.
and our
Yeah.
vector position. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it
I think it
shit's on the screen.
worked. Yeah, let's set the Z position way higher. Of the
Of the
camera.
camera?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Where's my camera?
Let's even
Okay.
multiply by 10. I want to see what happens.
This 50?
Yeah.
Doing it.
Because if you think about it, this tile is like 24 units in size. Oh,
Right.
God.
Now, is this not outside the clipping plane now? I guess 5 should have been too, so.
Oh, you're right. Oh, because our near plane is way too, our far plane is way too close. So see line 83?
Line 83. Ah, yeah.
Yeah, the far plane should be
That
like
makes sense.
like 150 or 200 or something like that. Like I don't know. However far we
Gotcha.
back out the
Yep.
camera, like that needs to be we need to compensate for that.
Needs to be at least that
Yeah.
far. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Still looks pretty something.
I like where
Are
you're
we
going.
Yeah, are we actually in a pixel space at this point? We are. Okay. Cool.
Okay. Well, I'm glad we oriented the camera correctly, so that works, right? Whatever we're doing.
Yeah, wild.
And so now we want to basically what you said, pull up a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which to me means that we want to rotate around
the
x-axis.
Rotate around the x-axis. Okay. So if we 90 would be looking straight ahead then. And that's wrong.
That's wrong. Yeah. So and this needs to be in radians, I think. So
this isn't degrees.
This is degrees. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we try something? Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah. Starting to look
yeah.
Zelda 2 or Link to the Past a little bit.
Oh man, we did it.
Oh
That's really, really cool.
Yeah.
So we have, let's see, we have 24 tiles that are, so this is a 1500 by 1500 map essentially. And that 900 does make sense.
Do you want to do black as the clear color?
I really do.
Okay. It's pretty blinding right now.
Yeah. Yep. May we see the last of magenta for a minute.
Yeah. Boy, this is exciting. And you know what? We can make the walls cubes so we can get a little bit of depth in there, right?
That's why I was thinking, like, yeah, we can do really simple primitives for our entities now and have this look like, we should make everything a cube for now.
Yeah.
Cubes with colors. Whoa. Okay. This is great. So I think if I was to make a guess, let's see. Oh, that's interesting. The far plane is like way too far. This number doesn't matter, right? It's just doing a diff.
It matters in the sense that we don't have the depth buffer right now,
Okay.
but it matters for depth buffering. But yeah, you have the right idea there. Yeah, because we were losing the top of the screen, top of the map, due to depth buffering, right?
Exactly. Well, and sorry, mostly I mean that like this number has nothing. Increasing this is not a performance thing because it's actually just like it's a clip for if you're bigger than this, you're out. If you're smaller, you're in.
Yeah. Let me give you
But
an
in fact, we
intuition
do
on.
want to render.
Let me give you
Yeah.
an intuition on where it does matter. Is that
Hmm.
basically the higher that number goes, and I actually don't know offhand like how high it should be, quote unquote. But the higher it goes, the wider the range that you are actually representing,
Hmm.
and you start to get into floating point precision trouble because
Fair enough.
the sort of like depth of the z plane is just too large. That's the only thing to
Gotcha.
keep in mind.
Okay.
Um, a lot of times, like I don't even know how much credence we need to put into this, but a lot of times, like 1 unit of distance is kind of arbitrarily mapped to just a meter. And so if you have human scale stuff, people typically use a meter, like 1.0 to mean a meter.
Hmm.
So if you think about the like in typical human scale video games, how far is your draw distance? It's probably not more than a kilometer, right? And right now our draw
Gotcha.
distance
Yeah,
is
yeah.
probably 10 times that.
10
But we're
kilometers.
not
Okay.
we're not doing anything like z buffering right now or anything like that, so it's fine. It's as long as
Yeah.
it draws, right?
That makes sense though. And I feel like maybe at some point, just for the representation of the game, like it might help to turn the tile size to 1 now, because
Mm-hmm.
if we're not doing the pixel representation, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, exactly. It doesn't matter.
So yeah. And actually, we use this everywhere, don't we? Where's this come from? This might break everything. It's at least going to make this 24 times smaller, but
it might break our velocity of the tank. I don't remember how we represented the velocity of the tank.
I thought we did it all with I thought it was all just
It's all tile size.
God, my brain. It's all tile size. Yeah, thank
Okay.
you. We're about to find out. Well, you know what? The thing I just did was wrong. That's fine. We'll sort that out later.
Okay.
Not rendered is no good.
Yeah.
Or tonight. Yeah.
I'm happy to sort anything out.
Yeah, well, I guess I'm wondering sort of when we get to drawing like a cube, our cubes now will also have to be 24 by 24 in this coordinate space, and that I feel like if I were to make a unit like our tile
should just be 1. Yeah,
our tile is the 1. Yeah.
Dude,
this is so cool though.
It's very cool. It's very cool that it worked.
Yeah, I can't believe this worked, to be honest. So if let's see, if the camera is like stuck, but actually like we're clipping to the player, so the only thing that's
yeah, technically the camera's position is wrong right now.
Because the player, oh man, I'm gonna turn off the cursor real quick.
Okay.
Or turn on the cursor rather.
Yeah, just so you can point at things.
I need to be able to point at things. In fact, pointer. Yeah, it's extremely hard to.
I love how fast the compile is going, by the way. It's great.
It's pretty quick, right?
Yeah, it's pretty quick.
Look at this. My cores are actually like I don't know. This computer's half used. Yeah. Right. So the player is right here, basically.
The player will definitely be on the lower half of the viewport, because if you imagine the camera is floating directly above the player's position, right?
Right.
And then we pull it up a little bit, so it's actually looking past the player right now. And so what we really want is to actually fix the camera a certain distance above the playfield, but always have it pointing at the player, with some fixed displacement on the y-axis away from the player, right?
And that's great because pvec2 actually is our player.
That's our player position. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's the focus position. It's so we can mess with that a little bit if we wanted to.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I always like basically like the offset is on the y-axis, like if I want to offset the camera this way
Yeah,
and sort of center the player more, I think this is, and these
that'll
numbers
do
are
it.
guessed,
Yeah.
but I think that feels right. Yeah. And then I want to be able to see the bottom of this. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So that actually looks like it was maybe exactly right.
It's going to be close. It's going to be some function of your angle, right? So if you're 45 degrees, then your y offset's going to be some function of that, right?
That makes sense. Yeah. Cool.
In fact, we can probably derive that mathematically, right?
Hmm?
It's going to be a function of your height and a function of your angle. It's probably like an arc. It's like an arc cosine of something.
Gotcha. Okay. Cool. Wow.
Should we draw the player?
Weird. Yeah, let's draw some things into this map. and let me just, I kind of want to, well,
Yeah, play with it, man. Like this is.
I was gonna say we can fuck with the camera all day long,
Yeah.
probably, right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's, yeah. Because I don't want the whole world view. I just want the tilted views. So maybe like, yeah.
You want to get in a little bit closer, right?
I want a little bit closer. Yeah. Come on. The build is pretty fast, but
it could be faster. Yeah,
it could be faster. Yeah, this is like what I'm thinking. This looks cool.
This looks really cool.
Possibly even closer, but this, I feel like I'm in a 3D world at least now.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting. Like I can't tell if I'm on a wall or if the Y is just wrong. No, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, okay, let's draw the player because it is so hard to even tell what's going on.
So it may be
yeah.
time for a light dusting of refactoring. I think our renderer basically no longer can handle arbitrary primitives. It's just going to draw models, basically.
Correct. Yeah.
And that being the case, it probably even shouldn't take rects anymore, right? I think what it is like just like we did with terrain. During some kind of loading phase, we said, hey, there's this model. It has this number or it has this tag. And then the renderer just says, okay, cool. I'm going to keep that and I'm going to put its shit into the GPU. I'm going to make a VAO for it, right?
That makes sense to me. So yeah, I was going to say we've got render train and render, but like let's add load models and render entities.
Yep.
That takes.
Or render entity singular would be fine too.
Can we do a one render at a time? Is that okay?
I think it is okay because we're probably going to call draw elements.
Okay.
Well, I mean, theoretically speaking, if we stuck everything into one giant VAO, then like we could do that. It just seems like it's more work than it's worth right now. Like that seems like an optimization if you wanted to do that.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess I'm not sure if it's historically like, or if the correct way to use OpenGL is to do as few draw calls as possible. I don't know. Is there an intuition around that?
No, your instincts are very good. We should do that, but yeah, at the same time, if you think about it, anytime you want to change a shader, or you want to change a shader parameter, that's a different draw call, right?
Yep, that makes sense.
Because when you do a draw call, it's not like you can change the uniform values for stuff in between. If you wanted to change them, you would use attributes in that case. And you do use different shaders for different things, right? Not every surface uses the same shader.
Yep. Totally. Yeah, and I want to get it'll be so nice to have like some lighting or something in here too. Which, yeah, as I saw in one of the other shader examples, was kind of a weird function of that.
Yeah, okay. I mean, do you want to do lighting right now, just for shits and giggles?
Well, let's get some cubes in there so we can light. We gotta. Lighting the plane won't do anything. I do want to like add some height to this eventually. That'll be really cool.
Yes.
So let's see. Okay, so right, we need another. You're saying we need another VAO for this, so
we need a new VAO for basically every model.
Great. That makes sense. Model VAO.
And the terrain really can be its own model. basically. I mean, that's what it is, really, right?
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really true. So do we need just a single VAO?
Well, we want a set of VAOs, maybe tagged by maybe a map of them, like string to VAO or something like that.
Okay. Yeah. Let's see. Vertex arrays. No, it should be VAOs.
Vows, yeah.
As let's see, key string to WebGL. And this dot bound equals that. We'll end it with cool.
And the way that we deal with terrain, I think we can actually just we can have load model, draw model, and that can handle terrain. It can handle character, what are known as characters, which are basically the entity models as well. As long as they're all roughly the same, then this is fine.
Okay. Oh, I see. Because load model, draw model will take a VAO and we'll just spit it out.
Yep, exactly. It'll take a string, like terrain or tank base or tank turret or something like that.
Interesting. Okay. Let's see. So sorry, are you saying that models is the other VAO, or actually it's like tank is its own and turret?
Oh, I was gonna say we can register them at runtime, so we don't even have to create any of them right now.
Okay, but they are all individual essentially.
They're all gonna be separate ones. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. Great. Well, then let's even deal without terrain for now.
It occurs to me that, see how we have terrain numverts? It seems like we need that as well. So maybe the map is actually mapping strings to a structure that has the VAO and the I guess the vertex count, right? Yeah. You got me.
I do. Cool. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Sweet. All right. So load model, draw model. Key string. Okay. So let's see. Draw model, I feel like seems maybe. Sort of fill this in based on what we already had. That's silly, but we'll get there.
This looks great.
Yeah. Okay, so then load model. I mean, this is how are you suggesting that we sort of like can disambiguate this, or is it a switch statement for the type, sort of?
Let's evolve our way there. For now, let's just take renderables and let's make the tank a single black square or something like that, or black rect.
Okay,
and then we can complicate it as going forward.
Great. We need to take a renderable array.
Yeah,
correct. Well, we'll do one.
Yeah, I mean, we can copy the load terrain function, right?
Oh, great point. Okay. Yep. Okay. This is all.
It's literally everything. Yeah.
All the same shit. Cool. Cool. Variables. I see where your brain was going now. Gotcha. Okay, so actually rect is what we have here, but in the future we actually may want cube or
I think in the future maybe the renderer doesn't care what the shapes are, and like we pass in it depends on what level of abstraction we want. I was actually thinking that we're probably going to be ending up loading this data from as an asset, like, so we'll probably pull it up of a file. So it probably
because our models should come from Blender or something, right?
Yeah, exactly. It'll just be the geometry itself, right?
That makes sense. Yeah. And I assume that stuff comes out in a way that you really just feed it into the GPU.
More or less, yes.
Yeah. Like those models, I'm sure, are prepared for exactly this.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, everything goes through the API that we're looking at. Everything goes through like a bind array. So you just need your float 32 arrays and whatever just ready to go, you know.
Nice. Right. Okay, so let's see. Going back to this, we actually have our verts. Do we have our VAO yet? Let's see, that's the program. Okay, so here we're actually going to make our new VAO. GL.
It's this.ctx, I think.
That's why. Yep, thank you. Vertex.
And then, yeah.
Excellent. Okay, cool. So once we've done this, everything just gets bound into it. That's really delightful, actually. And then set VAO. So that's this dot vows of key equals vow is vow, verts is verts.
Love it.
Yeah, but TypeScript don't.
Exclamation point up there. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, great. So let's see. We'll have to go back into our the render interface is just
let's just chuck it.
Gone.
Let's get rid of iRenderer entirely and just replace it with Canvas 3D render. I think there's
that's a great call because we're not actually
we're not
trying
turning
to swap this
around.
into.
We're gonna turn into like salt people. We turn around.
So let's see. Renderer will be a Canvas 3D renderer, and then I think we're good to go. Smart. That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
It should not sort itself. Different repo does that.
Sometimes it's
so
just
where
it's
we
just,
do load
it's
terrain,
just like
we're at
VS Code being slow, right?
fair.
Nice.
Okay, so our terrain is loaded, and then in our render,
we do draw model. Yeah.
Draw model terrain. Yeah, it's all this shit is gone.
Yeah.
Okay. Expecting this to bring me back my nice 3D models. So let's see. Boo. Cool. Great. We've got a draw model problem. I wonder if something's just not getting set. Load model. Oh, you know what it is? Could this be called before it's there? Do we need to like a little check on it? Oh, yeah. It's empty.
It can be because there's like a couple of frames where it's waiting for the server to tell it to start, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting because it seems like it's looping on empty though. I feel like it maybe would have talked to the server by now.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, because our client and our server are running in different spaces. So let's see though. If not this dot vows key, we'll just return.
Okay.
Key dot vows. I really just want to see node draw.
Yeah. One way to handle this. Oh, there you go.
You're totally right. It just needed that one. Yeah.
One way to handle this
cool.
Might be to have load model return a handle that's opaque and let the client store that. So let the client store like a render handle or a model handle. And if the model handle is undefined, we don't try to render it.
Interesting.
And then that's one possible way of dealing with that.
Gotcha. Yep.
I'm fine with this though. This actually seems totally reasonable what we're doing right now.
I agree, and I don't want to restructure the client too much yet, though. I can definitely see why that would end up that way. Okay.
Yeah.
So if we are to, I guess this is looking. So we need to load our models at some point. Maybe that's part of it. Where do we load? I guess we know all of the. Let's see. The every entity is there. We could load models for each entity in turn.
Yes, we do it when we load the map, basically.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And really, it's like, is it a type? Like we're doing load model. Oops. Like we're doing wall and a couple other things, right?
Yeah.
And then when we draw it, we actually have to like when we draw a model, it does need the entity. Like this becomes. Am I barking up the wrong tree here? This is like draw model of.
Yeah. So assuming that
Yeah.
we're dealing with like the turrets are a special thing, so let's not worry about that for now. Let's just assume everything is like one set of triangles that have a fixed position relative to each other.
Mm-hmm.
I think what it is like the renderable component on the entity reduces down to a string.
Okay.
Does that make sense? All it is like a single string that names the model.
Yeah, but where do we position it? It's in here, right? When we render.
That's right. Yeah, and I would actually not worry about the visible extents for now.
Yeah. Right, so this is that's what I was thinking. It's like draw model of e dot model and position.
Yes, that's exactly right.
Oh, I guess not.
Yeah, what I would suggest is, what does our entity manager look like?
Man, I haven't looked in this in a minute.
Yeah. So our renderables are a component table of irenderables. I think they're just a component table of strings now.
Okay. Yep.
And a lot is going to break as a result of this, so be prepared to do some refactoring. And then what we can do is this dot entity manager dot renderables. Sorry, in the client.
Yeah. Oh, right. We just have that. We don't actually need to.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not on the right. Oh, this is a component table.
Yeah. I would do a for.
Yep. Totally.
For destructure of k, const destructure of like entity ID. It's actually just a tuple, I think. Tuple of the entity ID and the model. Yes, exactly. Of rather than in.
Man, I will never learn which one of those is correct in JavaScript.
And square brackets instead of parentheses.
Oh, right. What is parentheses? Rust.
Yes.
Rust did that to me.
Yeah.
Great. Cool.
And then we're going to pull a transform out of the entity manager. So we'll do.
Right. That's what I was trying to. Yeah. Transforms dot get of entity ID.
Yep.
And then it's this dot render her dot draw model of model transform dot position.
Yep.
Cool.
Great. This looks beautiful. And then like probably draw model for terrain is just going to be like the position we're going to pass in is a vec2 of 0, 0, right? Maybe just like
Right,
vec2
yeah.
dot create.
Great. Cool. Draw
Is there a
model and
vec2 dot
then
0 in GL matrix? I wonder. That would be handy, don't you think?
great question.
Let me look it up.
Totally is. Yeah, there is. I'm using it.
Okay, nice.
TypeScript was already there, though that's a function.
Is there
I'm pretty
Z,
sure
capital
create
Z?
is.
Yeah, it's basically the same thing. Oh, I'm just
I mean,
wondering if there's.
vec2.create is.
Okay, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Nope. Not that particular thing. But I know why you want it. Yeah. We want that nice constant.
Yeah.
Okay, so how I guess we need to set a do we set a uniform or a it's not an attribute because it's not an array, so we actually have to have a uniform of a translation.
I think it's actually going to be part of. Yeah, we can pass it in as an attribute.
We can pass this as an attribute. Oh.
Not an attribute. A.
Has to be a
Sorry, not
uniform,
an
right?
attribute. It's got to be a uniform. Yeah.
Yeah. Right, because we have to set it for this entire drawing, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Let's get the uniform. Boy, I wonder if at some point the find uniform syntax will become second nature. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Let's see. After we bind it, the uniform 2FV of transform translate.
Yeah.
Translate. I like translate.
It's actually just like the
position.
I would call it's the model to world matrix or model to world.
Should we do a mat4 and just make it easy to multiply in here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or I mean, you could try to figure out how to make a mat like a mat4 from a 2 vector, but I don't know GLSL very well.
Fair enough. 2 worlds. And this is going to be a mat4 dot.
Yeah.
From translation mat4 dot create, and then vec3 dot from values of
pos 0,
pos 0, pos 1,
0.
0. Yeah. Wait, this wanted something before. Now it doesn't.
That's weird.
Yeah, wait, what did I use elsewhere? Uniform matrix. That's why. Is this, so this is a transpose is the Boolean. Interesting.
Transpose is if you had a column major, if you had a row major matrix, just because that's what your data, that's the data format that you had, and you didn't want to do the transpose in CPU.
Okay. Is not. Oh wait, have we? That's annoying.
This is fine. Let's just for draw model, let's take an immutable vec2.
Yeah. Okay.
And we probably will have to update a couple things for this.
In here? No, because we're just doing direct accessors.
That's cool.
Elsewhere, we're about to, because I think I have, that ain't right. And I assume that the change to renderables is just totally busted.
Yeah, so all of our entity constructors need to set a string value now.
Hey, this just got easier.
Yeah, it did. Strings are immutable in
Do
JavaScript,
we?
right?
Is there even a
Yeah, I think it's just the identity.
Nice. All right, get renderables. I think this whole thing is gone. Renderables.set. Oh, entity itself needs to call this a string, and then we'll follow the TypeScript path of destruction.
Yeah. I wanted to do this anyways at some point, so it's fine. I hated that this was an interface, right?
I mean, like yeah, and we kind of like everything was a square or a square with a little something on top of it. So like I feel like we could have just indexed these.
Well, the
And now we
trees were
are.
circles, right?
Okay.
Oh, the trees we're gonna
That's true.
randomize. We're gonna do tree rendering. What a tree!
Yeah.
Oh, this is gonna be awesome.
I can't believe this is actually in 3D and working.
Yeah, it was fast.
And like the whole simulation is running, right? This game is fast.
Yeah,
it feels great on my machine.
We turn the turrets off.
Oh well, come on, man. I have like 3 whole cores for this.
Yeah, you got plenty. This is all running on 1 core though, unfortunately. Single threaded, but their single threaded performance is amazing on this.
Look how much core I got left.
You got a lot of core.
There's at least half a core. Yeah. Systems index. No, it's simulate probably.
Simulate, yeah.
Oh yeah. None of that.
No, but the reason why we turned it off is because we were getting shot. We didn't want to die.
Oh, we were dying. That explains why I haven't died in a hot minute.
Yeah.
I just want to see if the game is still a pleasant 60. Yeah, and then I'm sure I will die over here somewhere.
Yeah.
It's nice that we know this map so well that we know where we're gonna die. There we go. And I'm gone.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me there. That was a little annoying. We're gonna have to draw bullets will be cool. We'll have to draw them above the ground. Okay, so
everything needs to be above the ground. Or like if we make cubes for or models, for example, right?
Well, they sit on the ground there, whereas bullets will be like floating, right?
Yes, exactly.
Maybe not.
With shadows.
Oh, we're gonna ray trace the shit out of this thing. I got my 2070 in here. That's good enough for the big leagues, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to wall, and let's just start with wall. Wow. Okay. Sorry, renderable is just the string wall.
A lot of the wall is that we do like gridded and damage coloring, which I just say let's not worry about it for now. Like we change the color.
No, and I feel like that's actually I feel like that's a shader concern going forward. So we'll have to
completely agree. That.
Yeah. And whatever, like let's just delete more code. Okay, cool. So yeah, my goal is to get walls rendering, and then we'll deal with players and turrets and more than one type of model. But this dot load. All right. So
are we just going to draw it as a rectangle for now?
Really? Yeah, do you want to just do rectangle and then get it out there and do the cube next?
Yes.
Okay.
So we actually, in the wall, I believe in the wall.ts, we define this, right? Or there's like a models.ts. I forget where we define these.
I think it's in models. I know what you're talking about. Oh, it's in models.
Yeah, this is it.
Okay, great. So it is, but what? Sorry, what does load terrain actually want to take?
Right now it takes a renderable. So it's
renderable.
Actually, I would just copy and paste. We can worry about the factoring later, but like you can just copy, yes, exactly. And the color's not going to work there, so we need to give it a different color. We need to give it
Oh, right. Yeah, totally. Right colors are gray. Do we have one of those in the renderer yet?
we can make one. And
Yes,
we
we
could also
can.
factor this out and just, yeah.
That, yeah. Oh boy. Okay, we're gonna have.
There's
I
there's
feel like
there's a lot of
we've
great
spun our wheels.
a lot of great refactoring to be had.
We've been spinning on that network on the network play refactor for so long, and I'm really excited to refactor like something that's not been optimized 4 times already. This is gonna be
Likewise.
great.
Likewise.
Yeah.
I do wonder if at a
Ooh.
certain point we're not even gonna have vertex colors, and instead it'll be textures,
Because we'll be using textures. Yeah.
or it will do the wireframe thing, which does use vertex colors, or it just uses green.
It'd be pretty cool. Yeah. I mean, like, what's the old battle tank game? Commodore tank. Is it just
Battlezone,
tank? The battle zone. That's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Battlezone, and
Ah, yeah. I really want us to look like
Spectre
this,
are before E.
dude. I fucking love Spectre so much. No, no, not this horrible movie. I played this motherfucker on my Mac
Yeah, yeah.
Plus.
This is both of these classic Mac games, right?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Wow,
right.
dude. I was gonna say this actually looks higher res than I remember. Spectre wasn't this good, was it?
Uh,
I remember that. Yeah.
I do remember a Spectre that was a little bit more than just wireframe. I feel like,
This sucker. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. There's screenshots on the My Abandonware
I
site.
I remember our computer lab in junior high
Oh,
had Macs. Yes.
it's beautiful.
Yeah. Excellent.
Hey, they got NetPlay. This isn't gonna work, is it? Oh shit.
Oh my god. This is amazing.
Hey, if this works in the browser, our shit can work in the
Yeah,
browser.
WebAssembly baby.
Is that what's happening here? It's they just
It's
compile it.
they compiled an emulator. Yeah.
Oh wow, it is just DocBox.
Yeah.
Okay. Bring it on.
What the
Excuse me.
uh
Oh,
CD Spectre?
you're right.
DIR. Uh what the install? Why do we have to do this?
I don't
They
know.
just want the full experience, I guess. Did you ever use DOS?
No, I never had DOS.
But you know
This doesn't
DIR
work.
though.
Windows still uses it, right?
It does. Yes.
Yeah, that's still like the Windows shell command too, which is horrible, but yeah. Yeah, dir is somewhere in my head as the thing to use on the other computer. God, okay, that threw me, but I love Spectre. Oh, model primitive.path. That's what I was looking for.
Does it just need an import? I think it does.
Is it? Yeah, but I thought
It's just not imported into the client. That's all.
it is imported into the client.
What's it complaining about? It's not assignable to the parameter renderable.
Oh, is this not actually a renderable yet? Sorry, what is our iRenderable type? Let's go look at that. Boy, that sure looks like it should be a rec primitive fill style stroke.
We it
Pause.
can't be a path. It cannot be a path. We actually need to pass in a rectangle, which is fine.
Fair. Why was it a path in the first place?
Because we were using the Canvas 2D path drawing. Everything was a path. So we could do triangles, we could do like you know how the tank was a little trapezoid? Like that's how we did that.
That's fair. Okay, so I'm going to say our pause is a vec2.create because we're going to translate everything from the origin, right? I'm editing the wrong file, but everything starts at pause 0.
Yes, correct. And then the dimensions are basically tile size, tile size.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's probably this code in the terrain get renderables function.
Oh, yeah, good. No, because Oh, well, yeah, but these positions, right. But these positions are valid.
Yeah, so this whole thing we can just like basically copy,
Yep.
except for position. Yeah.
I mean, that's all we got left. And this is just, I guess there is no model primitive for rect because reasons. It's not a model. They only specify known properties, and primitive does not exist.
It's just not imported. The primitive.
It is. Feel like I'm tripping. Yeah, it's got that. Oh, is it? Sorry, this takes renderables. That's all.
Okay.
Okay, sweet.
We're gonna get a bunch of runtime errors because not all of our entities have been updated to create renderables that are strings. So.
Okay, good point. Let's do.
We kind of got to take an axe to all of our.
Let's just do them all.
constructors,
Yeah, totally. Okay. Entities, turret. Great. This renderable can be turret. This renderable will be player.
Let's call it tank.
Tank, yeah. They're not all the player.
And I think all we care about are trees, right? Everything else is, even if there's compilers.
Nothing else is actually. That's true because we've had a bunch of broken shit elsewhere forever, right? Tree.
Just trees, walls, turrets, and the players. That's the only entities that we're aware of right now, right? And we'll just make sure not to shoot.
Bullets.
No, let's just do bullets. Yeah.
I'm just gonna make it bullet. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Problems 1. That's a silly problem. Oh shit.
Wow, that just like fucking worked. What just died right there?
Yeah, well, let's find out. Oh, you know what it was? The game it did a reload. Yeah, those sure are the walls I put in here.
Are they off by anything? They're off by a little bit, right?
No, they're not.
I think they're off by half. I was worried about this.
Okay.
When we do the I think the position actually needs to be negative half tile size on both X and Y. I think they need to be moved to the north toward the northwest.
That totally does.
Because the positions are at the center of the model, right?
Yep. Good eye. So let's do.
It's in the model itself, I think.
It's in the model.
So in the client, wherever we're loading the thing.
You sure? Because we're translating. I guess we could do it here, but you think it should be in the model. Okay. Yeah.
Well, what are we doing for terrain? What do our terrain... When we return the terrain renderables, what are we doing?
Good question. Is that all in the terrain layer? It is. Tile to world.
And tile to world centers it, doesn't it?
Yes. Plus, the position is plus tile size in each direction.
So
wait.
I feel like we should get in the habit of treating the... I mean, there's lots of things that we're doing. Like, we're flipping the y-axis, for example, which is, I think, a concession to the way that the geometry is currently laid out. But I think it will help us if we start to move towards... Well, this is weird, because if this deviation is here, I would have expected...
Shouldn't the map also be the same
Yeah,
half
the
off?
mat, exactly. That's exactly
And we
what I
don't
was gonna
care.
say.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Um,
So,
what is
well,
going on then?
I think tile to world. This is actually like tile 0, 0 is top left, but the position of our entities is the center. So the tiles are actually doing the correct thing, but where we need to subtract the uh, where do we render? Where do we color our model? I feel like it is. Oh, in this entity. So here is the like transform position from center
Why
to
don't we
tile.
adjust the model? Because I think that makes a little bit more sense. Because if we
Okay.
do it here, it only makes sense as long as every entity
So
is a tile.
since it's erect, we have to also adjust the terrain because we don't have a path. So I think we should maybe change the terrain renderer to draw tiles over their center.
That's fine too.
Yeah. Let's do that. Because like we don't have a model to fix, right? It's just. Or wait, do we? Get these controls out of here. Oh yeah, we don't because we've just taught it to draw Rex, and that's it.
Yeah.
So we could also change it here, um, or we could put primitive path in here and figure out how to draw points. But that seems hard. We need to draw triangles instead of squares, right? Paths just don't exist.
So if we do it here, it's not going to change the way that this looks, right? Because everything is
Correct.
going to be moved by the same amount. But it
Yeah.
does look like relative to. It does look like the walls are like half a tile over, right?
And they are because they're the terrain tile for this green square is positioned here and draws this rect. But this rect is positioned here and should draw a rect around the square,
Yeah,
but it's drawing.
everything would be shifted up to the northwest.
Yep.
By half a tile.
Yep. So I'm totally I think changing. Ah, it's weird because like we're basically gonna change something to be funky somewhere.
So for the walls, I think
Mhm.
the right place to correct this is where we declare the model, which is in client.ts. I
Yeah.
think all of these should just be around their registration point.
Oh, sorry. I'm a huge asshole. Right. We put a position in here. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Is
So
that
this
what you're
should
trying
just
to
be it
say?
should just be like negative tile size divided by 2.
I'm sorry. I had it in my head that like and that's a from values. I had it in my head that we were overwriting this every time, but we're not. We're translating against it. Sorry, Jeff. No wonder I was being obtuse.
Uh, well, I'm still a little bit confused about what the terrain is doing, but we'll see. That does not look updated to me.
I know. That does though. That looks correct.
Okay.
This distance became a full tile, and this is tile lined up here.
Was that always abutting the Is that always abutting the mountain like that, or are we over by 1?
Let's check out main. Ooh, guess who hasn't committed Git on this machine before? Set up any of their macros.
Master.
And it's master in this repo.
Yeah. Happy to change if you want to.
I'm sure used to main on everything else now. What do y'all do at Slack?
I think there was a momentary movement to move the language over during the summer unrest.
Hmm?
Oh, it is in the right position. That's where it is. Boy, this looks nice and clean, doesn't it? It looks really good.
this color is so much better.
So much better.
Yeah. Also, I'm not sure if you can see just how crystal clear this is, but it runs very well.
It looks really good. It looks really good.
I guess my video encoding is probably better too for sending it over to you. So that's exciting.
Oh, yeah. It looks good. Looks pretty crisp.
Man,
You're making it sound like I need to get a MacBook Air now.
I mean, get a Pro if you really want that touch bar.
Get a.
No, no,
I don't really care. I actually kind of don't like the touch bars.
yeah.
I think they're pointless. Um,
I mean, I will say it's warm to the touch right now. I can't hear it, but it's there.
oh, the heat is there. I see.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the fanless to be honest. I would definitely get this again.
And then we could eBay our MacBook Airs when the next thing comes out. Is that what you're saying?
Basically. I mean, like I don't think I want the next thing. I think it's gonna be bigger. And I don't want a bigger one. That's my guess. But if you want like a 15-inch, yeah.
I would do a 15.
Yeah. Also I'm trying to get rid of this old one I got if you want that.
What year is your old one?
2016, you were working with me when I got it.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Wow, and the game looks much better in 2D, doesn't it?
It's just the colors, I think.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should tune those up. But real quick, actually,
Let's get the player back in there, right?
I was gonna say, let me just get all our models back in here.
Yeah. The tree can be a smaller rectangle.
Sure. Yeah. Let's do so. Layer and what are our colors? We
It's
got
tank,
red, magenta. Oh, thank you. Yeah, totally is.
We don't have black. It should be black.
Huh? And then turret should be red and tree can be. We have dark green. We have forest green, obviously.
Yeah. And we can do a bullet too.
Oh, we can do both, can't we?
Yeah, we can.
That's great. Bullet will also be red then.
And the turret can be yellow. I think they're yellow.
Sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. All right, and I'm gonna make the bullet. I don't know, 2.
Yeah, and then that means that the position can be -1, -1.
Right.
And the same for the tree. The tree would be tile size times 0.8 divided by 2.
Right. Good point.
I don't think we have programmed all the colors yet. Black is there. Oh, no, we do have it. The tree's just not there.
Yeah, I was picking them off of this. But this is great. Yeah, all my little trees are gone.
Whoa, what the hell? Oh, we're in the trees because we're hiding?
Sorry, forest green is exactly the same color as green.
Oh.
Let's just
and then turn the forest green probably has a lower green value as well.
Yeah. Wait, that looked really broken for a second.
Yeah. There is a hiding thing going on, right? Oh, I see what's going on here. Yeah. Oh, this is Z fighting right now.
Yeah.
We don't know what the ordering is. Do bullets draw?
Oh, great. Yeah, dude, they totally do.
Are they red?
In fact, yeah, okay. I'm gonna make them bigger because 2 is too small.
I can't fucking believe this works as well as it does.
Well, I love that we just took the whole game and the simulation just continues to run and we're just swapping an entirely different rendering.
I mean, I would love to have hills, but I would
we're gonna have hills.
But the simulation, if the simulation remains in 2D, I think it might be okay.
To have hills?
Yeah. Oh, this is dope.
I'm honestly shocked this is working, but I'm thrilled. Dude. Okay, sure.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Wait, wasn't there some shit down here?
There is some
Oh,
shit. It's
it's
just that
down here.
we can't. Yeah, we're
Fair,
we're
fair, fair,
clamped.
fair. Yeah, I guess the clamping and the orientation of the map is not quite there yet, but that's okay.
Wait, what is clamping the camera? We should turn off camera clamping.
We should turn off camera clamping. Okay, let's look at. Well, so nothing is clamping the camera, I think, but the player is clamped.
Well, the player's clamp, but
Uh,
remember our camera does clamp. The camera does
yeah,
not travel beyond a
you're
certain
right.
position.
Oh, you're right. We can turn off all camera clamping entirely.
Yes.
So so smart. Is it we have our min and max world pause? Oh yeah, math2 clamp.
We'll just
Wait.
do this dot position equals world position dot copy
Yep.
or dot clone.
Oh, we clamp into this dot position. Yeah. Two dot clone.
Yes. World pause.
Is there a copy? Vec2 dot copy into this dot position.
Oh,
Pause.
that'll work too.
Yeah. I like that a little better.
We need to create. We just need to update the type override so it takes an immutable. There's a types.d.ts somewhere. Try GL matrix. Index.d.
Oh.
Yes. We just need to add a copy.
Oh, cool. Okay. Out is a vec2.
Yep.
Clever. So sorry, wait. What is I guess we can just clear that.
Yeah,
Sure.
we don't care about the cache. We're not using that world to view matrix function anyways.
We're not using this at all anymore, right? Yeah.
So you should be able to move pretty close to the bottom of the map now.
I think that is correct. Oh, the player can drive half off. Oh, the player's always been able to drive half off the map. Never mind.
Correct.
That's not new. Hey, there we go. Oh, see, that's perfect.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
Cool.
I like it. Unbelievable.
Yeah. fucking wild.
This is great progress for one session, isn't it?
I'm blown away. So I have a thought. Oops, yes. I shouldn't. I
like
should bring back VS Code.
Big Sur backgrounds.
Oh man, it's a really cool background. I'm into it. Though night mode just turned on, and I don't want that.
I've never been to Big Sur. I would like to go.
You should go to Big Sur. Highly recommend. It's really, really cool. Manchester. I would like to have we've got our WASDA movement. Oh, I was like, why isn't anything working? I killed this.
Are you you want to move the camera?
I want to move the camera with no. I wanted to rotate the camera with Q and E.
Okay.
I mean, up and down. Sure. No, I think rotate. I just want to like spin this map. I'm tired of looking at the same old direction.
Totally fine. You're just gonna rotate around. You're gonna do Z-axis rotation.
It's gonna be Z-axis rotation. Yeah.
Yep.
I said that it's gonna be a new keyboard input that doesn't get sent to the server, and I don't really want to do that right now.
The other thing is that our aiming is going to have to reflect the camera position, which is a very fun mathematical exercise.
Oh, huh. Yeah, that's a good point.
In fact, our aiming is probably already off now.
It's already broken, yeah. Oh, right, because we're clicking on the screen and it's just doing shit. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So what we actually need to do is we need to do something called picking. It's an unfortunate name, but picking is the act of taking a screen space position and figuring out what the world position is. Right. So if you can imagine, it's actually kind of the inverse of the whole perspective transform that we're doing.
Right. It actually is applying that just backwards, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Gotcha. Right. And then it's getting a coordinate for that and orienting around that. Okay. That also sounds good. I was gonna say something that's also clear to me is like we should make these cubes.
Let's make them cubes.
Yeah, let's make them cubes.
So let us then officially discard with this horrible renderable interface in the renderer, and
Yeah.
let us just consume. It's just gonna be arrays of vertices and colors at this point. Or if everything's solid colored, we could make a cube. We could make a cube renderable.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yeah. So let's see. So the updated version of that would be yeah, vertices as just a point array, colors as a string array.
You could even still pass in just a single color if you want it to be
solid. Let's do a single color. Yeah, totally.
And let's make the single color a vec4.
I like where you're going with that.
Yeah. And vertices S.
Oh, thank you. Is float array not a thing it likes? No, there's no.
The vertices are they're going to be vec.
Oh, right, they're vec2s.
Or even vec3s if you want them to be
3.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. So then, boy, position sure looks like it's just going to splat vertices, colors. Okay. So we're going to go through. Yeah, I do want to get rid of this. We should just be in 3D model, or we can export some shit from Blender if we really need more shapes.
Okay. And so for the vertices, we're not doing indexed geometry. So we're just going to literally list every triangle.
I think so, yeah.
So maybe triangles is a better well, it's the vertices of the triangle.
It's the vertices of the triangles, yeah.
Okay.
If it was vertices and the triangles was the index into it, that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
Positions.
Is there not a fill function in? You know what? I've actually heard that push is totally fast. It's like the fastest thing. Yeah.
Can I do that?
Are we trying to
split that? Oh, this is probably of, isn't it? It's always of. There we go.
And we're trying to copy the vectors, right? So we probably need to do like a.
Well, we need to.
So maybe they shouldn't be vec3s. Maybe number was the right thing to do, or even float 32 array. Because the way they don't need to be vectors, yeah.
Right. If it's a float 32 array, we're just copying
it. Yeah. Is there a copy on float 32 array? I bet there is. I mean, we don't even need to do a copy because it's not like we're using it anywhere else. But
yeah. Well, and also, aren't we feeding that copy? We're feeding the copy into OpenGL. So
yeah, I'm just looking here.
Okay.
I wonder if you just have to do the horrible .slice thing.
Yeah, so then really this is all about for let I equals 0. If these are 3D points, we need to copy the vec4 from color this many times, right?
That's right. Colors.push color. Colors.push ... color. And let's actually make both positions and colors float 32 arrays.
Both position. Oh yeah, of course.
equals a new float32 array. I think you have to redo it.
Uh,
Yeah.
does it not have a push?
Uh,
It's got fill. That's not what we want at all though for this, is it?
maybe fill is good. Fill is actually pretty nice. Yeah, fill is with this. Well, we don't. It's not. We're not really filling it. You're right.
Right.
We're filling
Yeah.
it with a like a pattern of 4 numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, it does not have push. Uh, I guess it's an array and not a list. So maybe what we need to do is like just create it with a size,
Mm-hmm.
which is
Okay.
vertices.length.
Over 3 times 4.
Yeah.
Size equals vertices.
Boy, it's like we're writing C. I like it.
Sure feels that way. And
Yeah.
does this take a size?
It has some overloads. It must.
32 array. I feel like create with size is such a like un-JavaScripty way to do something. There we go. Yeah. Color size, and then
And if we wanted to copy vertices, you can just do like you can pass it into the constructor. But I don't think we need to do a copy. I think we just keep it. We just steal the object.
interesting. Is we're gonna do a set. Yeah.
I think we can do array indexing though. I think we just do I.
Oh, okay. So this is going to be I times 4. Sorry, wait, do I have to set this? Do I have to do 4 sets for this? I do, don't I?
Yeah, what we can do.
Oh no. I can do a set here. Yeah.
What does set mean?
Set sets an array of values and an offset.
Damn, that's handy.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so let's see. So verts is the length. Why is this over 2?
Because previously they like the vertices were
Oh right, yeah.
positions, yeah.
Now it's over 3. Yeah, that's fine.
So everywhere we're doing vertices.length divided by 3, we should just use the word verts or numverts because I think that's a little bit clearer. Does that make sense?
It totally does.
And because we have a variable called vertices, could we call that numvert vertices or something like that? Yeah.
Totally with you there. Is not assignable.
The property is called verts.
Crap. All right, well, we're changing that too. That probably means that this is cool. Okay. So now we actually need our vertex array for a cube, but we might have that from the 3D. It's indexed though. You know what? We can just draw a cube, right?
Yeah, it's 36 numbers. It's fine. Let's just do it.
Oh fuck. Okay. And they're actually all.
It's a rite of passage.
Totally. They're all tile size, right? That is the current truth of our rendering.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, are we doing cubes for the terrain, or are we like because load model takes everything, right?
True. The terrain should be a plane, the bottom of the cube.
Yeah, but we're passing in the verts, right? So we can define the cube for every single one of these things, right?
Yep, except for terrain. Oh, I mean, this doesn't even make sense. So this needs to iterate over and be a set of verts for the renderables.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, let's start there. That's probably the easiest one.
Okay.
So let's see. We're handing it this.renderables. And this is a new float32 array of, what was the length before? This.terrain.length times 3.
Yeah.
Let's see, we're gonna change this up. You're right. We're gonna do this like five times
it's
and never
not just
again,
the
right?
float32 array, it's colors as well.
Oh shit! This doesn't work at all for the terrain. No. Okay. Well, I guess colors needs to be
Yeah, well, you know how we have that statement in the renderer that converts rects into vertices? We need to just copy that and
we
put
did,
that in.
yeah.
Yeah, we need to copy. Yeah, we did. We need to copy that and put it into the layer code because that's basically what it is, right?
Fair enough. Right, it's all this shit. Yep. Can I not copy out of this? Come on. All right,
Brutal.
let's just revert. Nope, didn't revert it. Get it out of here. Cool. Yep, that seems pretty reasonable. This just becomes the points for layers, and that's totally chill. And we will need this dot colors as well. So this is times 3, and this is this dot terrain dot length times 4. Does that seem reasonable?
Yeah.
Alrighty. So,
well, let me think about that. Actually, the renderables those are supposed to be vertices.
The renderables are going to be yes.
It's actually times 6 instead of times 3 because you have 2 triangles per tile.
Thank you.
And the colors is going to
make the colors times 8.
I actually think it's times 24.
Oh gosh, colors is a lot. Yeah, you're totally right.
Well, no.
Wait, you know what it is? It's this dot.
I mean, are we talking about, are these 3 vectors or 2 vectors? Like, what is renderables besides being a float32? What does it actually represent?
Renderables is 3 vectors.
Okay, so every vertex has 3 numbers.
Huh?
There are 6 vertices, so it's times 18.
Yep. And this is this dot renderables
times 24. Yeah.
Renderables dot length times 4 more, right? Four colors per vertex. Oh wait.
No, it should be
it's
33% larger, right? Because you have 1 more element per vertex.
Mm-hmm. Right. So instead of
it's
3
24.
times 6, it's just 4 times 6. Yeah, totally. All right.
We're getting 10 minutes left. I'm not sure if it's quite enough time to push this through, but you're hoping to get the terrain drawing again. Is that the look in your eye?
Let's get the terrain drawing again. Yeah, I think we can do that. I'm gonna enjoy this set as well. So I think we've got our array. The offset is I times 18.
That's the stride, yeah. And then we need to add
a third coordinate to all these. That's
to all of them. Yeah, it's all
just 0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then this, we should just make it look like the other ones. Northwest should just be r dot pos 0, r dot pos 0,
Yeah.
1, 0. Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's nice and
Um,
symmetric or
yeah.
consistent.
What we're gonna need is an R. Um, which was so we need a position now.
Yeah.
Which I guess is really just uh, it's T to W of. We have. Let's see. What did I get rid of here? Oh, okay. Yeah, we had this X and Y. Yep, that looks familiar.
Yep.
All right, man. I just deleted everything I wanted way before. Uh, one of those days. Let's get diff source terrain, please. Okay, yep. Those two, get our Y and X, and then get our pos is that. I feel like this is so close to just auto formatting itself back into happiness. Oh, you know why nothing's been auto formatting? I don't have auto formatting in this VS Code yet. I'm on the Wild West here. And let's see, r dot dimensions. This is really just tile size and tile size, right?
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
This was like far too generic. Didn't need to be this generic. It was
Well,
generic. It was
dimension.
generic for the renderer, but it doesn't need to be this generic for the terrain model generation.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dimensions is what we had to work with there too. So
Yeah.
that was just our input. Okay, let's. What we're gonna do is use the real colors because I am sick of this shit.
Yeah.
Shit, were we just using green, brown, and blue from HTML? Damn it.
No.
No.
No. We added that in
Oh,
there
that's.
because we needed convenient colors that we defined before.
Mm.
Let me look in master. I'll tell you what they were.
Oh, great. Okay, yeah, it's just where I was hopping over to as well. How to?
So let me know when you want to know what these are. Let me actually find a hex color too. RGB.
Yeah, I am ready. Yes, mountain.
Hang on a second.
All right, totally.
This RGB
Yeah.
is 8-bit RGB, but I want
Oh, that's not.
hex
Yeah,
color to
totally.
decimal. Hex color to RGBA. How's that?
I'm excited for it.
Shit. All of these are worthless.
Oh man,
Everyone uses CSS. That's the problem with the web.
that is. CSS is the problem with just so many things. So.
Uh, let me see. Is GLSL hex color to RGBA? XML to RGB values in WebGL's shader. Why don't you bastards in Stack Overflow? They give me all the math, but I want friggin'. All right. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to do this manually, the old-fashioned way. So
All right.
what are we on right now?
Give me some grass.
So grass, the red value is 0.494.
Okay.
The green value is 0.784.
784. Uh-huh.
And the blue value is 0.314. So rounding to 3
314.
significant digits should be fine.
That sounds good, yeah.
Okay.
All right, give me mountain.
Mountain. The red is... You know, I could just be reading you the RGBA number. You could just be dividing by 255. I just realized this.
Yeah, totally.
How's that sound? Is that okay?
Sounds good to me.
All right, so we'll go back to green. It'll be a little more precise.
Oh yeah, I see.
Sorry,
Yep.
we'll go back to the grass color. Sorry.
Let's do it. Nope. Ready when you are.
Okay, so 126 divided by 255, 200 divided by 255, 80 divided by 255. That was our grass. Mountain.
Yep.
The red is 91 over 255. The blue is 80 over 255.
Uh-huh.
And the green is... the green is 80 over 255, and the blue is 54 over 255.
All right. And last but not least, river.
Don't we have another? Oh, unknown. That's...
Yeah, don't worry about unknown.
Yes, the river is 43 over 255, 87 over 255, 112 over 255. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. It's so funny.
No worries. Okay, cool. Let's see. Tiles I or types dot type dot grass. What is this unhappy about?
It's not or, it's question mark, question mark.
Ah, shit. It's still 201.
What is the type of const color? I think that we need
that
let's just do key.
It needs to be
number, or is it string?
Type. It needs to be type. They're all strings.
Okay. I'm not sure if you can use enums there, but whatever. Let's see.
Yeah, we're about to find out. I think the answer is no.
What is grass? Or what
grass
is type?
Is 2.
What is the enum type?
Type is an enum.
But what is it? Is it a string enum or regular? Okay, let's just do number. Key number.
Maybe that's the problem, is that you can't have key number. I don't think.
Yeah, sure you can.
What? I thought you couldn't have anything but strings. All right. Fuck me, that's cool. So this, and then this is 4 times 6. So this is I times 24. Holy cow. And this is this dot colors dot set. Is that? Let's see. Oh, you know what? We didn't. This dot terrain layer dot. We need to make these public. Printables and this dot terrain layer dot colors. Let's take all this back out because I busted it.
And load model is not going to work like this anymore. I think it needs to take all the vertex colors independently. We had it.
That's correct. Yeah. This. But that's okay, because that's just that. It's probably good, right? Load models getting simpler.
Nice.
Yes. Oh,
I love that
oh
so
no.
much.
What did what have we done?
Oh, I think we made it better.
Oh, look at all these triangles, dude.
That is awesome.
Oh, holy shit.
That is truly surprising.
I did not expect this. Is our math?
I say we commit this and
Let's yeah. It's good
can you
actually.
can
I've
you can you
already
can you can you run this can you run this with a larger window? I want
yeah,
to see it.
yeah. We haven't had a good backdrop for the stream that was actually our code
Our
in a
code.
minute.
Yeah. Well, we just
Yeah.
found it. Yeah.
Oh man. It,
I,
it's just it's just majestic.
yes. Um I
Oh, oh yeah.
I'm
Oh
actually really surprised at this outcome. I mean, look at we've got gradients and everything.
yeah. I thought I was doing that pretty okay, but oh, it's
I mean, it
hilarious.
just means that our vertex positions are probably A, not correct, and then they don't line up with the colors correctly.
They don't. Oh, you know what? I have an idea.
Yeah.
In our renderables, our vertex attrib pointer
Well,
should
yeah.
be a 3,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
our color pointer should be a 4. Where do we write colors in here? Oh, here.
Yeah, and then we need to update the shader as well. Oh, this is just having wonderful effects.
Yeah, holy shit. But they're squares again.
They wait, what the hell just happened?
I changed it to 4 and it was still building.
Oh, did you update the
The
shader?
no, the shader's been fine the whole time, right?
I don't think so. Go to
Okay, fair point. Our color's been a vec 4.
our vertex position should be vec 4 or vec 3, right?
Huh. Yeah, what's up with that? Well,
I don't know.
let's just swap that in there, shall we?
And then the color should be vec 4.
And it probably is. I bet this
This is exceptionally surprising. Semicolon.
it's very forgiving.
It's very forgiving. I'm also astonished that we were able to recover this.
Yeah, that was a fast one.
That was amazing. I thought we were in for like some horrible debugging.
I'm
but
in
no.
love with both of these pictures.
Yes.
Amazing.
I love this new screenshot tool. Overall, I really enjoy the Chrome on Big Sur. I do like.
It's good, right?
It's a
Yeah.
little bit more of like a real computer OS now.
You think it's more of a real computer OS, not less.
I do. I do. This feels like a computer GUI that you'd see in a movie.
Mm-hmm. I gotta say, this is really the only thing I'm kind of like not the biggest fan of.
Little too skeuomorphic, maybe.
It's like, yeah, it's
Too
not
much depth. Yeah. But Finder looks
yeah.
great. I think Finder is a vast improvement.
Finder looks really good. I think overall things are looking pretty solid.
I'm excited.
All right. Well, yeah, we pulled out of that nosedive right at the last minute. But look how cool this is. Hooray.
Speaking of nosedives, my brother and I were talking about the 737 Max today.
Yeah.
Because he's big into aviation these days.
That's right, because he's been doing he's a flight simulator guy, right?
He's a flight sim guy. He's also learning to fly real planes.
Oh shit, that's
I think
amazing.
the flight simulator is just scratching his itch for the real thing. And he was talking about how he's been studying He's the kind of guy that like
Okay.
will read Supreme Court arguments for fun, you know.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot.
um, and he's been studying this like the press around how we talk about the 737. So he's basically doing Boeing 737 Max discourse studies, and he's expressed a displeasure in the way that that whole thing has been reported.
Really? Is it that we were too like everyone was too panicked about it, or that it wasn't panicked enough?
It's that we were galaxy braining the theory on why things went wrong. So
Hmm.
I think my understanding is the general mainstream understanding, which is that the original sin of that plane was that they used the same chassis but put on engines that were too big and therefore had to move the engines forward on the wings, which caused it to be so aerodynamically unsound that they needed to basically compensate using a variety of automated techniques, right?
Yeah.
Um, and then compounding that is that their automation had a ton of edge cases that they didn't account for. The instrumentation didn't support very well.
Yeah.
So
It seemed like the move fast and break things of planes, which is just like they're like, we'll throw some software at it. It'll be fine.
yeah.
Which bad idea.
So what my brother claims is that most planes are fly by wire already. They're very much not aerodynamically they're not aerodynamically sound to begin with, and so there's a ton of compensation
Hmm.
going on. And I kept pressing him though. Like I was like, well, it's not a difference of in kind, probably. It's a difference of degree, right? The fact that there's autopilot means that a computer can definitely fly the plane, right? So,
Hmm.
but you could have a feature on the plane that is so aerodynamically unsound that it makes it very difficult to kind of like automate around, which is the way that I understood it. But according to him, that's not really the case, and he's pretty much primarily focused on the fact that like essentially they just flubbed the automation part and didn't really like plan for certain edge cases
Hmm.
and didn't have redundancy for those edge cases.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I'd buy that. Yeah, I guess what sucks is that the automation they introduced is potentially worse than the it's like worse than the outcome of like what was it? If the plane rose too steeply, it would stall, right?
Yes.
But also like a stall is really recoverable when the plane starts going down again, right? Like can't you normally like kind of like you can sort of like put yourself back out of the stall. At least you hope so. But instead they're just like let the computer deal with this, which I feel like was they took like a normal pilot operation and they're just like, what if we put a half-ass thought into this? And yeah. So yeah, they did the automation badly, I think is
Yeah.
I agree. I agree with
And,
your brother.
and it's like it's and I think what happened, I think what he objects to is the sense that like I think people wrote it as if like, well, you introduced a feature that required you to automate, and I think what he's saying is like, well, everything is automated, right?
Oh yeah, we're
um
way past that for sure,
yeah, we're way
right?
past
Yeah.
that, but the thing I pressed him on was like, well, it could be the case that the original sin still could be the engine thing, because you could easily like imagine driving a car with like a 50-foot pole pointing off to the right. You know what I mean? Like that's a pretty bad feature that you can automate around, but like
Hmm.
you've made it very difficult to do so in a safe way, right?
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, or like it's like if your left front tire was like a little smaller and the car just kept nudging the steering wheel right to fix that.
Yeah. At that point, yeah, the problem is no longer the automated fix. The problem
Yeah.
was the wheel, right? And so
Yeah.
I'm still not 100% sure if I buy his argument entirely, because I'm not obviously not an aerospace engineer, obviously not someone who builds airplanes. But at any rate, he
What an
gave a very
interesting question.
nuanced
Yeah.
he gave a very nuanced analysis of his
I mean,
like of 737 Max, not even design, but discourse around the design.
well, here's what's so weird. Like, they're going to expect us to fly on those planes fairly soon.
Okay, so here's what my brother said: is that he was totally he believed that they're safe now.
I'm sure they are, but like, do you think like people will still try to rebook off of those flights?
I think people will.
Yeah, I actually believe it. Like
I
they
mean,
flew
I
safely
actually
before
would
that
feel
too.
nervous being on one of those planes. It's not rational that I would be nervous.
Same. Oh, totally. I mean, like if I've learned anything about irrational fear this year, it's that I have it, and it's very hard to get past.
Yeah.
Just for like all the nominally safe things I still don't want to do because of COVID.
Yeah. Can you minimize your little screenshot here? I want to see this world in its
You want the
and
full
it's
glory.
this is like the first time we've seen it in like the pure color, and it's beautiful.
It's great, right?
Yeah.
I
Oh
really.
man, we can do a rendering where there's a slight curve in the terrain, like there's a curvature.
Oh, that's so. Yeah, yeah, and as you know, we're zoomed out here, but actually, I feel like I want to zoom in more.
It definitely needs to be zoomed in, I think, at
Yeah,
the scale
I
that we're
want
dealing with right now.
to for a map this size. Yeah, I want it to be a lot closer and for us to be doing more stuff. So it looks really cool.
Yeah, I actually think this is probably it's not long for the world that we're going to be able to see space. Right. I think we're probably just going to have ground going out into the edges of the viewport.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, yeah, yeah. With an invisible wall.
Yes. I am impressed that we were able to get this like perspective basically on the first shot. That was like a one shot for us. And then we dug
Mhm.
ourselves into a hole by pulling out a bunch of wires, and now we're sitting outside of the hole triumphantly looking down.
Well, we did it like twice too, right? We
Yeah.
deleted all the renderbles, put some models in there, and then we're like, what if the models were even better?
Yes.
And ta-da!
And these colors now look super sharp. They look really
Oh,
cool.
I'm so happy to see these again.
Very well curated.
It was I used I gotta go to our YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, we're live.
Yeah.
Nope. Nope. Oh yeah, here. Oh gosh, stop. But no, I used the screenshot for the last one. I'm just like, it's so bad. I hated looking at it. I want to change it. I didn't want to put it up there in the first place. So
Yeah.
I'm just thrilled.
By the way, for session 54, the screenshot, I pretty much knew what you were going to choose.
Oh good. I mean, I'm pretty sure I said I was going to choose that
Yes.
beforehand.
And the color scheme in that resembles Manchester a little bit. It's kind of got the muted green and a soft blue.
For Halo Infinite, yeah, it's if we get our Halo Infinite right up next to this guy. Where's our sad monkey man? Yeah.
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 It's pretty similar.
Honestly, like this could be Manchester right here.
Yeah, there's some subliminal shit going on here.
I didn't know that you were in contact with the Halo Infinite team, but I'm very grateful for it.
It's more of a spiritual kind of communion than it is like direct communication. A kind of like a holy email, so to speak, a psychic SMS. I can keep going.
I believe it. You usually can. You're good at
A
that.
metaphysical ham radio ping.
What do you think? What do you think this guy's name is?
Um, that's a good question. Are you saying like what name kind of jumps to mind?
Yeah, if you were going to name this enemy, what would you name him?
Philip.
Philip. All right. Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
Felipe first, but I was translating.
Ooh, I
That's
like Felipe.
yes.
I
Or
think
Philippe,
that's
if you're feeling more francophile.
mm-hmm. Yeah, Philippe is here to say you
Okay,
should have
yes, it's
rendered some more
Philippe.
polygons
It's
on
it's
me.
Philippe.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has he has a penchant for escargot and steak free.
And this American tourist coming into his land, he's just not happy with.
Yeah, and they're not fighting. He's just getting in his face, right? He's just getting in your face a little bit. He's like, "Hey, I'm confronting you. I'm accosting you,
Exactly.
Jacques."
Jacques. Oh, Philippe.
Yeah.
I look forward to meeting Philippe in real virtual life someday. He'll probably still look like
Philippe's
this.
doing fine. He's got his cool geometric house in the background, and that looks like a snow-capped peak, even
Wait,
further back.
sorry.
Yeah.
This is in there. Is that a snowcap or is it actually like clipping through the mountain? I honestly can't tell.
Oh, are you saying that's graphical artifacts?
Yeah.
No, I'm giving the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying that looks like a snow-capped mountain with snow with a very high albedo. So it just like it's reflecting the color of the atmosphere very accurately.
Okay. Okay. I
This is
that's
the
very
entire
generous of you.
like see when we're done with our like tentpole technical features, multiplayer, good God, 3D, holy shit. This is the kind of world building you can expect from the pair of us, right? Like we're gonna have like French orcs with massive geometric chateaus and set in a kind of bizarre alpine wasteland.
That that would be a better game than Halo.
And then you
Someone should
punching
make
them in the
that.
face with your rifle.
Uh,
Oh man, I'm gonna skip Advent of Code tonight. It's been a long week. And
yeah.
I want to go to bed.
Play yourself some ghosts or go to bed.
I beat Ghosts.
Oh, good. I'm about to finish the second act, and I hope the third one goes quickly.
Yeah, that game is just
It's long. It's
it should be
huge.
done at the point that you've played it right now, right? You probably played like 40 or 50 hours. It should just be done.
It should
at
be
that
done.
point. Yeah,
Yeah.
it should be done. It's too long.
Strong agree.
It's too long.
All right, let's move on then.
All right, I'm about to click the stop streaming button.
All right.
Unless you have any objections.
Not a one.
Okay. All right. Ciao, everybody.